something we always lack, but what if someone came and said that your perception of the arrow of time that time flows from the past to the present and then to the future and not in any other direction is a very subjective thing. Let's start with something we know for sure, that time exists and it follows a very clear single direction, at least for us. We are born, we age, and we die. We perceive time as something flowing from where we call the past, where we have very clear and sometimes not so clear memories, to where we call the future, where things have not yet happened. That is when we encounter one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of physics, why we remember the past but not the future. In other words, why does time only flow in one direction, moving forward and never backward? Ultimately, the fundamental physical laws describing our universe show that time can be reversible. Those laws remain valid without requiring time to flow in a single direction, and the content of those laws also has no part explaining the arrow of time as we perceive it. For a long time, physicists have cited the second law of thermodynamics, the law stating that entropy, or the level of disorder or randomness of an isolated system, will increase over time. They argue that, because the universe only goes from a state of low entropy to high entropy, the arrow of time is the same, going from when entropy is low, the past, to when entropy is high, the future. Most physicists today believe that gravity may be the key to explaining the arrow of time. Their reasoning is that when subatomic particles decohere, i.e., go from the quantum realm to the classical realm, gravity appears, creating what is called the arrow of time. However, according to a study published in the journal Annalen der Physik, the role of gravity, as explained by the Wheeler-DeWitt equation, is not significant enough to explain the formation of the direction from past to future of time. The authors Robert Lanza and Zbigniew Pietrzak say that through this, there is only one thing that can explain the arrow of time, which is the observer. Our research shows that time not only exists, flowing from the past to the future, but is also a property that emerges depending on the observer's ability to store information about experienced events. Our research shows that if we only consider the inherent properties of gravity and quantum matter, we cannot explain the profound effects of the emergence of time and the absence of quantum decoherence in the macroscopic world we see with our eyes every day. Does that mean there is no universal arrow of time? Perhaps, but when we observe a corner of the universe, even where time may have been and is flowing from the future to the past, it will immediately manifest the direction we have always perceived, i.e., from the past to the future. We, the observers, have memories and can only remember events we have observed in the past. Future quantum trajectories to the past are accompanied by the erasure of memories, because any process that reduces entropy, where order is diminished, leads to a degradation of the correlation between our memories and the observed events. Therefore, an observer without a mind, i.e., an observer without the ability to store observed events, does not experience time or the world in which we age. Other mysteries of time. The depth of time. The concept of the depth of time is almost like the abstract school in painting, beyond human comprehension. History began over 4 billion years ago in the universe. That is only according to our objective milestones, so what is time from 14 billion years ago when our universe had not yet formed? That is a mystery that scientists have not been able to explain to this day. Eternal time. Since the concept of time existed, this is the only thing that is eternal and exists forever. Even our sun and earth will end one day in the future. Although we cannot exist forever with time, scientists also propose the concept of eternity. It is not about existing forever, but an endless loop. It is like a horizontal number 8 symbolizing repetition, similar to the concept of the universe's cycle. Time dilation. Time is greatly influenced by two factors, speed and gravity. The greater the gravitational force, the more time slows down. GPS satellites orbiting Earth are equipped with super-accurate atomic clocks. But due to weaker gravity compared to the ground, these satellites experience less time. Therefore, atomic clocks must always adjust to compensate for this time difference, to avoid GPS positioning issues. This phenomenon is called time dilation by scientists. Speed is also a factor that can cause time dilation, even causing absolute time dilation if we can approach the speed of light. Thus, at that point, time could potentially stop. This effect describes time as a winding river, with places fast and slow, and it slows down for objects moving extremely. For example, if you are a passenger on a train capable of moving at 90% of the speed of light, your watch would only pass 10 minutes, while in reality, 20 minutes have passed on the ground. You would also enjoy quite interesting visual experiences. One of them is called the aberration phenomenon. Your entire field of view would shrink to just a small window right in front of you. This is explained by the movement of photons, even those behind you, all moving forward. Another visual effect no less interesting is the Doppler effect. Light emitted from the stars in front of you would converge, making all objects appear blue. The light from the stars behind you will be scattered and cause them all to appear red. The faster you move, the more pronounced the polarization effect becomes, until these rays of light move beyond the visible spectrum. At that point, everything seems to turn completely dark, where it feels as if all objects have completely. Subscribe to the Hidden_Realms channel so you don't miss the latest